Now, there are some special kinds of lines, horizontal and vertical lines. Notice something. Anytime there was an x and a y in the equations, the lines were diagonal. Keep that in mind. If you have both x and y in the equations, you have diagonals. Now with vertical lines, that's not going to be the case, or with horizontal lines. By the way, vertical lines go up and down, horizontal go left and right. And here's what I was trying to get. I want you to see. If the equation only has an x variable, then the line's only going to intersect the x-axis. If the equation only has a y variable, the line only intersects the y-axis. That's not always the case, but most times it's the case. If the equation has an x and a y, then the line intersects both the x-axis and the y-axis. The only times where this isn't true is when we're actually graphing the x-axis and graphing the y-axis. So keep that in mind. Or in other words, when we're graphing y equals 0 and x equals 0. So let's graph this. Let's graph y equals 4. Now I'm going to show you with a t-chart how this works. Once again, we're going to use any values we want for x, 0 and 1. But the y value, according to the equation, equals 4, which means it's always equal to 4 no matter what the x value is. So when we plot these points, 0, 4 will be right there. 1, 4 is right there. Connect the dots, extend the lines, horizontal line, y equals 4. Now notice what it says up here. If the equation only has a y variable, then the line only intersects the y-axis. So if it's y equals, it goes through the y-axis, horizontal line. Or you can use this. Now let's graph x equals -2. I'm going to use a different graph. Once again, I'm going to plot points. Now, I cannot use just any x value here, because this equation says that x equals 2, which means x is always -2. I may have misspoke, but x is always -2. Y values can be anything, as long as the x is -2. Now, let's plot those points. Now, -2, 0 will be right there. Left 2, stop. -2, 1 is left 2, up 1. Extend the line. Vertical line. The reason why, another way to think of it, if the equation only has an x, that means it only goes through the x-axis. Vertical line. If it only has a y, it only goes through the y-axis. Y-axis. If it has an x and a y, it goes through the x and the y-axis. Understand?